Hey, James Pelton here. And, just when you thought I had completely left crypto with all the craziness that the crypto market's bringing, here I am talking about crypto again. I just can't get away. Crypto Jimbo, here to live and stay forever. So I don't want to talk about it though. So I brought on someone else, another YouTuber, Cepryl. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel. He does talk a lot about crypto. And today in particular, we're going to kind of talk about some meme coins, altcoins, kind of get Cepryl, how you think through what coins you're looking at, how you know when to get in, how you know when to get out. We're going to talk through all of that. You in the audience, please hit the like button, currency of YouTubers. And let us know if you have any questions or if there's anything in particular that you want to talk about. But just looking forward to having a little conversation, see what's going on in the crypto markets right now. So let's start, Cepryl. Could you do just a quick introduction of yourself, who you are, how long have you been doing YouTube? Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. So thank you so much, James, first of all, to have me here. And yeah, my name is Cepryl. I started my YouTube journey relatively recently, actually, like October last year. So I've been on the YouTube space less than 1 year. And my channel kind of exploded with a small run that we've seen around end of last year and beginning of this year. And in the last few months, I've actually focused a lot in the meme coin sphere because pretty much that's where the money flow has started to go. And it's been a very interesting, learning curve into running a community. And, it's a space that has been ever evolving. I've been in crypto for the last 7 to 8 years, but obviously meme coins really started in the last cycle with Doge and Shiba. But what we experienced right now with the birth of really the Solana ecosystem and then the base ecosystem, and now like we've seen this week, I'm not sure if you've seen like the Tron memes that we're seeing right now. Everything's crazy. So there's a lot of opportunities for people to really make life-changing money. I've seen crazy stuff. Just like the other day, one of my members actually made up 400x on a meme coin. I didn't even do that. Like one of my members on Discord did that. I was like, what? Like, this is crazy. So there's really a lot to focus on. And talking about me overall, I'm focusing more on the low cap gems, on meme coins specifically in this period. But every kind of altcoin that is a very high risk to reward ratio to make also people understand that they don't have to be millionaires in the first place to make millions in crypto. Like there's a lot of lucky kids that are putting very little and making a lot of money, but regardless, there's also like very informed choices that people can make to make the most out of their situations, no matter what. So it's a very exciting sphere in this space right now, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. What would you say, kind of from what you've seen, what's the percentage? It doesn't have to be an exact number, obviously, but between wins with your meme coins and losses, like, do you hit 1 out of 10 or do you hit 5 out of 10 or what do you kind of
Definitely
see?
not 1 out of 10. I don't want to say that I have like 100% hit rate. And it also depends because there's no real black or white answer for this, because the same project that we might get a win right now, if you get in maybe 2 hours later, it's going to be terrible and it's going to be a big loss. So if we were to follow like dot by dot, maybe 80 to 90% to at least making something like a 2x minimum. But obviously everything's so time sensitive in the sphere that like you can just like, especially if we're dealing with something that is very low in market cap, you can't just think, okay, he bought this and then 2 hours later, oh fuck, now it's almost going to zero. It's all about mastering the time of making a perfect entry and exit plan. It's not about the choices themselves.
Okay. Yep. Nope. That makes a lot of sense. And I want to talk through that a little bit. Maybe let's start with, what do you look for in a meme coin or an altcoin? There's so many coming out every day and it's really hard. I mean, I get pitched, just looking at my Twitter DMs right now. There's so many meme coins in there. What do you look for and how do you kind of decide which ones to hop into?
Yeah. So I would say the first thing is meme coin, altcoin alike is community. Like the hype, the power of the community. You can't beat that. Like you can have on the card the best website, the best Telegram, the best Twitter content, but if you don't have community, if you don't have good sentiment into an altcoin, and especially meme coins is everything is like on steroids, right? Then the project is not going to go anywhere. It's all about the community. So for instance, if I'm looking into a new meme coin that just emerged on a new chain or very low market cap, the first thing that I do is jump on the Telegram and jump on the VC that is open on the Telegram, see what the vibe is, if the dev is there, if they have a lot of admin or moderators, what's the sentiment looking like. I think that the community is what you really can't beat it. You really can't beat it. Obviously, charts are important, age of a project are important, because people need to understand that people get bored very easily, especially now. Like, if you think, you've been in the space for a long time, just like I did. And if you remember, like 4 years ago, there was barely any meme coins. There was barely anything. Right now, just go on Pump Fun and see all these Solana launches. How many Solana launches we've had in the last minute is more than what we used to have in 1 year, a few years ago. It's absolute insanity. So because of that, charts are important, everything's important, but at the end of the day, like, community is what drives projects. So that's my focus.
Yeah, nope. I totally agree with that. That's what I was going to say too. I was going to ask you about what role community plays, and you've already got through that. Can you talk about how do you balance, because a lot of the meme coins and altcoins, it's important to get in early because there's always this initial pump, and then people start taking profits, and then there's a price discovery. So how do you balance getting in early? With then you open yourself up to more rug pulls. They're not established projects that have been there for a couple years. Like, we know Dogecoin's not going to rug pull and Shiba's not going to rug pull. But how do you kind of balance that, getting in early versus looking for well-established?
I think that the important thing is really to have a profit strategy in place, because this is also what I tell people that is very related to this question, that I would rather chase 50 2x's rather than chasing 100x, because it's way easier. It's way easier. Like, I think that long gone are the days in which you would just look for the perfect project that, okay, I'm just gonna hodl it. Hodl is no longer a thing. Hodl doesn't exist for me anymore. It's one thing if I'm looking into project maybe like Ethereum or Solana, and if you think that they're gonna have the crazy run that some people think they're gonna have, that's one thing. But if you're looking to high risk projects, just get in, you get a 2x, you take your initial investment out, you are running for free, you're running on the house. You can't lose. You can't lose. Maybe you're not going to win as much, but you're not going to be able to lose. And I would rather just do this every time and play it safe. So Moonbag, taking your initial out as soon as possible and with a good bag, and setting up stop losses, which a lot of people don't do. They think, oh, community, or maybe they just go on the Telegram and they say, oh, Dev is going to send this. Yeah, sure. And then maybe it drops 50% in 1 minute, which is things that you need to be ready for, obviously, if you're investing into meme coins. But I would say, just as a rule of thumb, I think between a 20% to 30%, I was about put my stop loss. And if it gets triggered, I sell. I also use trading bots to do this, so it's kind of like automated. I don't have to like think too much about it. But that's pretty much how we do it. And just like I would take a loss and move on to the next thing, I would also take a profit and then round the house, rinse and repeat. And this strategy, I think that I can say that I've mastered it now. It took like several months of like experimenting with different platforms and also timing with different market caps, different types of chart reading. But at the end of the day, if you can really master something like this, the losses that you're going to encounter are not that many.
Okay, good feedback. No, this is good. This is good. I'm taking notes as you're talking, so hopefully the audience is as well. Do you want to talk about rug pulls? So what? First off, have you been involved in some rug pulls? How many? Does that happen often to you? And then what's the best way for new people? What was that?
I've been rugged so many times. It happens to everyone.
It happens to everybody. So what's the best way for newer investors to kind of steer clear of those as much as you can?
I mean, I would want to say just keeping your emotions out of the question, but no matter what, if you put whatever amount you put, if you see it go to zero, you're going to be upset about it. So I would be bullshitting people. I would definitely say leave your emotions out of the question, but you're going to feel some sort of way. What I can say is that, especially if you're getting started, don't put your eggs in one basket. Like, the best traders in the world really don't put more than 0.5% per trade. of their portfolio into a trade. They don't put that much. And if it goes to zero, they should be okay with seeing that investment go to zero. So I would say just proper risk management, putting very little, and especially the more a newbie you would be, the less you would put per trade. And you get a feel of things, and then the more experienced you become, maybe you can, hopefully you're also going to have more money to just play around with, but you're going to be able to make more conscious choices. But I would say for a beginner, just put very little. I've seen people with, I don't know, $1,000 of budget, and then they would put everything into one meme coin. I'm like, you're crazy, man. Like, you shouldn't do it like that. You should do very small amounts. If it goes to zero, see it as a learning lesson. Think about what happened. Was I too reckless? Didn't I do my own research? Maybe I didn't look too much into the team or the hype and the Telegram. Maybe the website was a duplicate. Like, there's a lot of things that are actually such easy ways of realizing if you're getting scammed or not. I think that Pump Fund, in a way, made the ecosystem better, in a way worse. So in a way better because you can spot if something has been copied. So let's say that I find a gem on Pump Fund, and then I copy and paste the name in the search bar. I'm going to be able to see if it's been created before. So a lot of people are just trying to replicate copies of existing projects, of just ripping off and taking the art away from a project. Obviously, it's going to rug, right? So a lot of people maybe get rugged and they don't do their research on that. So I think that things like this are so easy to spot for some people. Other things, not so much, because obviously if the vibe is great and everything falls into place, and then the dev decides to rug and they snipe the supply, but you didn't realize, then those things you can only investigate so much. But sometimes there's nothing you can do. But I think that in the majority of cases, if you really do get rugged, there's always a lesson learned to make it less and less likely in the future for it to happen.
Okay, good feedback. And that can be comforting too for you and the audience. This happens to everybody. Okay, if you're gonna be in the meme coin, altcoin space, it just comes with the territory that you're going to be getting some big returns. So again, you're not going to get these types of returns if you hop into the stock market or real estate or anything like that. But whenever you have the higher return, the reason you have higher return is because there's higher risk. And so you just have to understand that that's part of what you're getting into. So if you don't feel like losing money, I would say stay out of crypto altogether. Okay, because their losses are part of your journey. They've been a part of my journey. And sometime I need to do a calculate. I think I've made more than I've lost, but I need to sometime run the calculations. But I think I'm up if you add it all together. So, what would you say? This is just kind of for fun, but what's the most ridiculous meme coin that you've seen that's actually been successful in your opinion?
The most ridiculous that's become successful, you would say?
Yes.
Oof.
Put you on the spot here. Maybe it doesn't have to be the most, but just one that is.
Bro, there's just so many. I've made some profit just the other week with the meme coins that had the reversed lettering. So let's say there was dog. It was dog written upside down. And they just used the generator to write the letters upside down, and then they put it into that. And I was like, how is it even possible that they make it as like the ticker? All of them pumped. And that's the thing. Like, maybe one day everything's like this, and the day after is everything's about Trump or whatever, like every day there's going to be a different meta. They're just ridiculous. And another day I made profits with like the Chinese meta. Everything was like the Chinese version of existing things. That was quite hilarious. Yeah, I can't make this up, man. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy space, but it's a lot of fun at times. At times, it's a lot of fun as well. Yeah. Fred says, I think he means I can't control myself because sometimes it can be addicting. Yes. And, there's a lot of elements that are similar between meme coins, altcoins, and, gambling. There's a lot of similarities. And if you don't really know what you're doing, you don't have experience, meme coins, altcoins can be just like gambling. What makes it not like just going to the casino and, spinning the roulette wheel or whatever, is if you start to kind of learn what you're doing, to look for the strong communities. Okay, this is a strong community. It's going to work well. And things like that. So if you learn a little bit, you can be more successful than at a casino. But otherwise, and then there's all those same, gambling tendencies where, oh, I lost, I need to bet double next time so that I make up for that loss, and you can get yourself into some trouble. So let's see. Next question. What's your take on so some of the older, more established meme coins? So let's talk about like Dogecoin, for example. So this is old, it's way past its big pump, and then it's come down and it's been here for years now. Elon keeps talking about it, and what's your take on some of those older, like Shiba Inu? I don't know if Pepe is considered an older meme coin now. Like, are these worth hodling?
Yeah, if I'm thinking about Doge, like just by looking at the chart and how the 4-year cycle works, pretty much, we should expect it to pump. I mean, obviously, if Bitcoin goes to an all-time high and we have the super cycle that everybody is expecting to have, although everybody pretty much is also like quite depressed in this very moment, which we can also talk about that. Eventually, next year, we should expect a high of all of these projects regardless. But we're talking about diminishing returns. Obviously, the days of making life-changing money and out of these projects, unless you're already starting from life-changing money and you're allocating millions, then that's one thing, right? But I just don't think it makes sense because it's all a game of diminishing returns. Every cycle, we're only going to go so far because more and more projects are born. And if you also think about it, yes, Dogecoin went to billions, but how many projects were really there in the last cycle? Not a lot, right? In that niche, in that narrative. So to me, it makes sense on a sort of way of like maybe being very against having very low risk tolerance, let's put it that way. And I want to diversify properly. And maybe I don't want to be exposed to things that are higher risk. And, I want a certain degree of safety to also preserve the wealth that I've built. But at the same time, I can also identify memes that are more recent, which carry similar degrees of risk that are probably going to give better returns. So if I only think about Pepe, at the end of the day, Pepe hasn't experienced a proper bull cycle. It was launched during the bear market. And look where it is at now. I would expect a much higher pump out to something like Pepe. And is Pepe really more risky than Doge? I mean, that's also debatable. Like the big whales left already the project, took already millions and millions of projects when the project was launched last year. So at the end of the day, I just don't really see it. And also there's big catalyst event that something like Pepe could have. For instance, Pepe is not on Coinbase. Do you realize how big Coinbase would pump Pepe? Like that would be astronomical. Or also, if we are looking to stuff that is perhaps a little higher risk, think about Brett. Brett has been listed, by the way, yesterday on Binance Futures. That is huge. Usually, if something is listed on Binance Futures, it's probably going to get listed on Binance in spot trading. So, and then we also have the Coinbase card, the biggest meme on the base ecosystem. Do you think that Coinbase is not going to list this? I don't think that these projects are more risky than Doge, really, but they can yield much higher returns, in my opinion. So I really don't see a point just for that reason.
Okay, yeah. No, that's good. Good feedback. And yeah, you always have to look at the market cap too, like you said. What's Doge's market cap? It's in the billions though. So it's, Doge is not going to 100x. Like it would be very, very difficult just from a market cap perspective for Doge to do something like that. But again, as the market cap goes up, there is less risk. So Doge is not going to zero either. So, but like you said, that's not, it's past the point of it being life-changing money. So good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Is there any meme coin? And this is there any meme coin that you regret not getting into? That when you see it and you see it, how it pumped and everything, and you're just like, oh man, I passed on that when I saw it and decided not to do it. Any regret stories there?
Regret stories. I regret one that was literally the other day. I'm not sure if you've seen Sundog on Tron.
Yes, I did see that.
Yeah, so I faded at that very early, and then he went to what is now 250 million market cap. So I was, I saw that around on X when it was, I think, 4 million. Yeah, so that was what. But it is what it is. You can't win them all, right? As long as you win more than you lose, and you still make money, that's great. But obviously, if you see something like that, and you're like, damn, we're still so early when these things happen, and then you miss it, but that's fine. I'm I've learned to be more like, can I say numb? Maybe when looking at these things,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, whatever. And then I move
That's,
on and just
yeah,
focus on the next thing, you know?
I've noticed that in myself too. When I first got into crypto, like every transaction, I was sitting there watching it and checking. And now I'm just throwing money left and right and just like, that might be gone. And then you just move on to the next one. And it numbs you and it gives you a weird relationship to money. I would say is what it's done to me over the years. So let's talk for a minute about your channel. What do you kind of go over in your channel? Again, I would like everybody who watches this, whether you watch it live, watch the recording, I'd love for you guys to go follow Cepryl. Do you pronounce it Cepryl? Is that right?
Some people Cepryl, some people Cepryl. I don't care.
Okay, yeah. It's hard to tell online. I never know how to pronounce anything. But what is your YouTube channel about? Why did you start it? What can people kind of expect to learn? But yeah, everybody watching this live or recording, please go subscribe to Cepryl, Mr. C. That's what I'm going to call you. But what's the YouTube channel about?
Yeah, so I touch very different topics, I would say, into this, but I just try to make people aware of all of these new projects that we can see in the market right now that are very maybe not so much talked about by the big YouTubers, because obviously the big YouTubers are still gonna talk about Cardano and projects that are old now, and they're probably not gonna make you rich. I talk about projects that, yes, let's be aware that could go very wrong, but it could also go very well. So obviously, I do encourage people to do more digging after watching my videos. By all means, I'm not a financial advisor or anything, but I'm just going to talk about the things that I see on the internet by doing very thorough analysis on the blockchain, on all of these low-cap gems, new trending meme coins, new trending ecosystem to get in and be as early as possible. And I try to educate people a lot on the things that are possible if you really go out of the normal way of investing. That is, think about like the average American that goes to a 9 to 5 and just goes to Coinbase and throws some money there. I want to teach people how to be very early so that when those things arrive to the normie in the US going to Coinbase after work, they're already pumping your bag. So I want to really get people out of this matrix, so to speak, so that it can actually be early in projects and maybe change their lives for the better.
Okay, I love that. Yeah, so go follow Cepryl, and if you don't get enough crypto from me, is because I've kind of moved on to other side hustles and investments and things like that. But if you still want, go hop over there, and you can stay in touch into the crypto markets. And I still don't know if we're in a bull market or not. It's been hard to tell. It hasn't pumped the way that the other bull markets have, so maybe we're still waiting. Who knows? But what would you say? What are some meme coins or altcoins that people should look at maybe right now? The people who are watching, what's maybe something they should go check out as we kind of wrap up here?
Yeah, as I said, really ask yourself a question. Are you really trading or are you investing? Because if I'm thinking about meme coins that I'm I'm just going to buy now and keep it for this bull run or whatever, for like 6 months or 1 year, there's very few projects that I would buy. Okay, there's very few projects that those could be. Then probably would be some of the biggest one. I would buy Pepe, I would buy Brett. I really like Turbo as well, that you can see in that picture. Another meme coin that is relatively new that I like, that is hundreds of millions, but it's not in the billions territory yet. There's not that many picks. Maybe I could name like 5 or 6 that I really like, and I think risk to reward ratio, they just make sense. But I think that really like getting in and out, being early into projects, and then flipping your profits is the strategy that makes more sense. And a lot of people, they are not super experienced. They think that, they're maybe thinking that it's too hard for them, but it's really not. It's really not. And I think that just being familiar with the Solana ecosystem, being familiar with the base ecosystem, starting to use a trading bot. So for instance, I am an affiliate of BullX, which I think it's the best trading bot on the market. And by the way, just to do a very quick plug, there's a 100,000 people waiting list. If you just click on one of my video links, you can get instant access to that. And you're going to be able to trade meme coins like you're doing in a centralized exchange, which is honestly, it's life-changing, because otherwise you're going to have to go through Uniswap and MetaMask. You need to sign the transactions, and people are going to be faster than you. People are going to mess you up because they're going to be able to buy and front run you every time. So I also educate people on how to do these things on my channel and navigate the trends, getting in, taking your moon bag, and then moving on to the next thing. This is the strategy that I like to do the most. And I'm sure that if people get familiar with my channel, they'll know what I'm talking about, because things to buy and hold, very few, but opportunities to actually make money through this with Memecoins, it's immense as soon as you start digging a little bit about it.
Okay. Well, amazing. This was inspiring to me. I'm actually going to go watch through some of your videos, and I'm going to dabble a little bit. And audience, if I find it very interesting, maybe I'll put some more crypto Jimbo stuff out there. But I got some PTSD. I got some battle wounds, battle scars. So no promises, but we'll see. But thank you, audience. Thanks for hopping on here today. I hope this was educational for you. We might see Cepryl again. If there's like certain meme coins or altcoins, Cepryl, that you think, hey, this would be great, let's hop on James' channel. We'll talk about him. Please shoot me a message. And thanks for coming on, sharing your expertise. Again, I hope everyone watching will go subscribe. Let's keep his channel growing. But thanks for coming on here today.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Take care, everyone. God bless. Have a great rest of the afternoon.